I'm on. All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. For those of you audio listening, this won't matter one bit, but for those of you watching this on a YouTube television screen, we're using video now. It's going to be great. Jack actually was in a terrible, horrific car accident, big pile up on old acidic rain highway. Pile up, got out of the car. Wouldn't you know, got hit by a semi truck. After he got hit by a semi truck, he was splayed out on the road. And from there, while being splayed out on the road, it started raining that acid rain. Yeah. So
How you feeling, Jack?
I feel like Mark Hamill in
life.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say Last Jedi, but okay.
I thought you were gonna say from that time he was in that car accident.
That was what I was referencing because that happened before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
That's why his face is all fucked up in it. That's why he gets clawed, you know.
that claw Mark Hamill. Um, okay. Yeah, well, anyway, everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is Podcast the Motion Picture. With me is Jack, who is, of course, has been in a horrific accident and can't turn on his camera, and Noah, who is, for those of you watching here for the first time ever, handsome as ever. I'm never gonna ever mention that we do a video one during this again. I don't think, unless if something hilarious happens. For those of you watching, you can see what's in my hand. I feel like this is the fanciest technology, and this is a lame bit. For those of you listening, you probably can't hear this. Could you guys hear that?
No.
Okay, I cracked open a Diet Dr. Pepper and I'm going to be sipping on it religiously. All right, so anyway, on this podcast, we talk about movies. Mm. Have you guys watched any movies this last week?
I have two, both in the theater.
Nice. What were they?
Twisters and Deadpool.
Cool. I've not seen Deadpool yet, so you cannot spoil it, but I have seen Twisters, so we can have an elegant conversation about it. Jack, have you seen anything?
One sec. I
Okay.
have.
Oh,
I watched two movies.
well, what did you watch?
I watched this little picture called The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey.
What's the other one?
And the other one is called Bone Tomahawk.
I've never seen that one, but I do want to watch it. That's Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of bad opinions about that movie.
Good. I'm glad. It'll keep me-
Tomahawked my bone into your mother.
Ah,
Uh,
well, I guess that's the end of a beautiful friendship right there. Currently, I have my phone pulled up in front of me because I'm trying to type in two reviews for the two movies I saw, which was not Deadpool, but Deadpool 2. Maddie and I are going to go at some point this weekend here. And then also, I watched Twisters myself. So we should be in a good place to watch or talk about Twisters. Um, I'll have to add the Twisters thing after because I can't multitask, it seems. I felt like I had some bit of a funny story to tell, but I must not. Oh shit, the cats are fighting and they're locked in. Oh, they're gonna piss me off. Um, I don't know. I don't really have a story other than I should say Engen and I, we've been working hard over these last couple days putting together some stuff, and I think pretty soon we're gonna have somewhere to go with all of our business here.
sweet.
Yeah, I am excited. I feel I've always felt hopeful. I before I go on this rant of hopefulness, these cats are gonna kill each other. Let me go on the rant, and if they die, they die. I can hear them growling. Anyway, very hopeful about it. I think we got a name that we're pretty close. We're like this close to getting it narrowed down. We've got plans. We got a roadmap started. Him and I got to have a meeting over the weekend if he's available, which I think he was. I don't know. All right. Give me 1 second. You guys, Phil, I'm gonna set my laptop down because I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you guys. Maybe I'll make it the screenshot of this thing. Oh no. Oh, they're not doing well. They're angry. All right, you guys, Phil. All right, I'm stepping away. roll, damn it.
I don't really like when pressure's put on me. So, what'd you do today, Jack?
I helped my brother move.
That's cool. I went to work. I tried to install AC unit into my window, but I'm up really, really high in this building. And it was in there, but it wasn't in there to the point that I could have been 100% certain that it couldn't fall and crush someone if it were to fall. So the guilt and anxiety about that caused me to take the AC unit out of my window and just put my box fan back. So it's fucking
Well,
hot.
have you thought about just screwing the piss out of it, so then it doesn't go anywhere?
Right. A, I'm not a handy guy, and B, I have wood trim around my window, and it's a rental, so I'm just gonna hope that these are the last two miserably hot days of the year. And then, in a couple, or well, not a couple months, but 8 months, I won't live here anymore. So just suffer through for now.
You want me to come up there and install your shit for you?
No.
Okay.
He has to learn how to do it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you need tools and shit?
Well, if I were to, I'm just gonna give it back to my friend from work tomorrow, and we're just gonna live with the box fan.
Okay. Oh, hey, I actually had something last weekend for those of you listening. We all hung out here. Not here, but up in Rapids. Here for us is 3 different places. Why I brought up to know, I don't know, Jack, I don't know if you heard me. I had a thing for the podcast I had wanted to say because it's like a double, 2 worlds colliding of things we talk about a lot. Godzilla and Rob Zombie. Dragula by Rob Zombie is the song for Godzilla 2000 in its trailer. It was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I got a little bit of hope in me that that movie will have the song in it.
I love that song. That's the best song ever.
I agree. All right. Which of the movies shall we talk about? If we're ready to move on already. Wow, Noah's drinking a fluid too. I just watched him do it. He's got a cool Rush poster in his room. Wow, you can see everything. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, something else that now that we're like 5-10 minutes in that I didn't mention. Cole. Cole is not here today. He just moved in. Jack helped him move in, then Jack got in that accident. But Cole doesn't have his internet set up yet. So next week, Cole will be back for all of those horn dogs that are into Cole's voice.
Maybe. Who knows?
If he's not, I mean, he's gotta have a chat with
Well,
HR.
I was hope he was going to be on this week because I really wanted to talk about Bone Tomahawk with him because he gives it a very high score and I gave it a very low score, and I want to know what he saw in it that made him think this is a 4.5-star movie.
Wow.
And I said it was a 2.5-star movie.
Mm-hmm. We should, yeah, definitely. You should talk about it this week, and then that way listeners have something to tune in next week for. Kat, what are you effing eating? You're always eating shit. Ridiculous. Okay. I will talk about Deadpool 2 because I just watched it. Deadpool 2. Is there a subtitle for Deadpool 2?
No, it's just Deadpool 2.
Just Deadpool 2. Okay. Deadpool 2, delightful. I struggle to put it somewhere between Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. I don't know which of the two are better. I think I like the story of Deadpool 1 more than Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2's story seems like a big joke, which is a comedy movie, so it's fine. But I really like Domino, and I like Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin? Yeah.
Yep.
James is his dad. For those of you listening, Josh Brolin is a Nepo baby. One of the first
Is
of
he?
his kind. Yeah.
I did not know that.
You know who else is a Nepo baby? Is Jeff Bridges. So think about that.
I did know that.
Shit's been going on a long time.
But
we should.
I would argue that Jeff Bridges is even though he did start out as a Nepo baby, I feel like he's kind of earned his like.
I agree.
I don't think he hasn't earned his greatness because he is a great actor, but like he is a nepo baby, and that doesn't, logically that doesn't mean it's a good or bad thing. It doesn't make him a great or evil fella, but he's a nepo baby, and I will never not think of him as such.
Well, go back to we're talking about Deadpool.
Oh yeah, hey, Deadpool. Um, hmm. Deadpool is awesome. Deadpool is good. I enjoyed it. I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. I cried a little bit, but only in my pants. Um, no, I'm just kidding. No, it's pretty great. The effects are very CGI based, but I couldn't give a hoot. Something I always thought is they always cheaped out in the last second and had Ryan Reynolds record the voice for Juggernaut. There's only one line of delivery Juggernaut gives in the movie where I can tell it's Ryan Reynolds. Other than that, there's not the cadence nor the sound ever puts me on to thinking it's Ryan Reynolds, and it's a pretty impressive voiceover, to have that change in there. Noah, Jack, I guess I don't know how you feel about this. Noah, I know you've never liked Fire Fist, I think is the villain's
Yeah.
name, Russell,
Yeah.
the plus size superhero as Deadpool dons him.
Yep.
I think that kid is hilarious. They're like in prison. For those of you audio listening, you're not going to be able to see me do this. I'm not going to talk through it. Okay. So get onto the YouTube and tell your friends about it. But they're in the prison. They get in a big fight and they've got their asses kicked. And Deadpool's sick and dying. And the kid's like, did you see us? We were a team. In there. It is such a funny bit. That kid is great. There's one of him, I think he's burned a bunch of shit down, and then he starts doing like this sideways invisible mime pull flawlessly, and it doesn't get there's not enough. I don't think the kid got enough screen time, is how funny he is in that movie. And I don't know if he's in Deadpool versus Wolverine, but I hope to see him in something. Oh no, you don't talk about it. No, don't do that. No. All right.
Why is he
I haven't
making? Is
seen
no one making
Deadpool
a?
2.
Is he making a face like he knows something? I can't see the
Yeah,
screen.
it was. Yeah.
Oh, guys, yeah.
On account of the acid got in your eyes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Acid to the
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say about Deadpool 2. It's getting kind of old now. I saw a thing today. Guardians of the Galaxy is 10 years old. It made me wanna. My hair will be gray soon.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Whiplash turns 10 this year too.
Have you guys ever been behind the back of Man Cinema 8, our movie theater in Rapids?
No, I didn't know such a place existed.
Yeah, it just does.
No, I've been on like either side of it, but I don't think I've been in the back.
When me and Welsh went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters on a whim, no idea what it was about. We went and watched it, loved it. We were waiting on a ride, and we just walked around Man Cinema, ate a bunch, and just did a big circle. So,
Bud wasn't back there.
no, Bud does not live back there in a stream.
Yeah.
I think that's everything I have to say about it. Ryan Reynolds' shtick in it is funny. I don't know. I never get annoyed by any of the Deadpool jokes. Like I've never heard one in a movie where I'm like, oh, that's annoying. When people randomly try to be Deadpool out in ordinary life, don't do that. Please don't do that. I know you people, I can see you people, and I can read you people. And I know that those Deadpool comments are just like a 3-second escape that you take from being the ordinary coward that you are. Be real with yourself. Be real to the world. Put yourself out there. Urinate in your pants. Wear someone else's high-heeled stilettos and just go out for a walk. When you're in the grocery store, buy nothing but batteries. Do whatever you want. That's what it's all about. If you want to make a reference, make it your life,
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I got to say about Deadpool 2. No, you want to talk about Deadpool X Wolverine?
Yeah. I just went. What day is it today? Thursday. So I went Tuesday night, 2 days ago. And it was a 6:30 showtime, and I got there at like 6:20 because like the Lake Avenue ramp is closed off, so I have to drive like all the way down Superior Street now. It's annoying.
Oof, that is rough.
And like the parking lot is, I have to go park in the ramp, which I haven't had to do in forever. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be busy. It was. I had to sit in the front row of the auditorium, which I hadn't done for a movie since 1917. Whenever we saw that,
Wow.
so that was interesting. I ended up liking that. Actually, it didn't bother me at all. I thought it might. Greg Marcus in his intro. There's a new one. Kills it.
Which one?
Kills it.
What's this trailer?
He's at a bar. He's pimping the Marcus Theaters bars.
Wow, I've not seen that. Good for him.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, and not that there's anybody on the planet listening to this that doesn't know him, Greg Marcus runs Marcus Theaters, a big brand up here in the Midwest area, maybe nationwide. I don't know how far it goes. He does these dorky commercials for his own movie theater right before, and I call them dorky. They're the most delightful, happiest things a business owner could ever put out there. They're just little reminders of, be quiet, be nice to people, let's share the space. Sometimes they're, trying to up the concession stands, and he just shows himself eating some popcorn with some friends. It's lovely. I strive to be him in everyday life.
Yeah. So agreed. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of movie going there. But then the movie started. Great. Loved it. The cameos in this one are definitely, like, I don't want to say what it's about, but probably like the main draw, and you won't be disappointed. Soundtrack, awesome. Action, awesome. I don't know about the fucking storyline. Like, maybe it's not good. I don't care. Basically, when it's like they said Hugh Jackman was back as Wolverine to star in a movie with Deadpool, like, it would be tough to fuck that up, and I don't think they did. I've been a long time X-Men fan, so delightful to see Hugh back. First time since Logan. That was awesome. Matthew McFadden of Succession fame. Great. Just good stuff. I won't say any details really at all, because I didn't know anything going in, and that does help. So enjoyable. You'll like it. I probably like it better than 2. I've never been like crazy high on Deadpool 2. I like it. It's just I've only ever thought it was okay. But I don't know if I'd rank it over 1, because 1 is its own thing kind of, but it's just good shit. I liked it a lot. And the Ryan Reynolds got the theater to laugh many times. So yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it's a success.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, Jack, do you have one of these you want to wait a minute, Jack?
How can I help you?
Are you watching movies that aren't movies that will help you with your thesis?
I mean, last night I did.
You piece of dog shit. You piece of hot dog shit. You
I only have
motherfucker, you.
Okay. We're just gonna keep this going?
Yeah, this is the rest of the show. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, this is some good water. I can taste the chlorine.
Yeah, I drank some of that. Cat, you got to get it. Yeah, Cat almost tried to get on my laptop. I drank some of that water, put it in my water bottle when I was home. Now every time I put water in my water bottle, it keeps tasting like chlorine. I'm pretty upset.
I forgive me if I've said this on the podcast already, but I got one of those Brita water pitcher things. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Best like $25 I ever spent.
Yeah, got one here that's just a big, humongous one, giant. It's great.
Do you remember when we lived together and we had one and then it kind of exploded?
Yeah,
it was kind of. How long did we have one? Like a month and a half, maybe?
A month or 2, yeah. Just our water pressure was too high.
Well, it was Maddie's fault.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think.
It was. I remember.
All right, let's see here. I don't want to be cutting through these movies too fast. What, Jay?
You're not gonna let me talk about the movie?
Yeah, just before
you rudely cut me off.
I don't believe I ever cut you off. You started talking about chlorine in the water, and I pandered to you and started talking. I've literally never even tasted chlorine.
before that, when you insinuated that I'm being procrastination on my dissertation and
Oh,
not
that's right.
watching the movies I should be watching.
Yeah, I did insult you. Go on.
As I was saying, I watched a movie called The Hobbit, and this is the first time I think within 10 years that I started The Hobbit and finished it without pausing it and then watching The Lord of the Rings instead. So it's okay.
I
I feel like that's the most fair thing you could say about any of the Hobbit movies. It's besides the last one. It's that it's okay.
The best thing a person can do with the last of the Hobbits is to just not talk about it.
I don't I okay. Okay, here's my it's because it actually has been like 10 years since I last watched it.
Mhm.
So the score, sure, he knows how to write a Lord of the Rings score. Okay. I think
Yes,
the
he
Hobbit
do.
scores. I like the music too. I like when they sing. I like when the dwarves sing. I think it's fun.
Mhm.
Um, I don't understand why Peter Jackson was like, I'm gonna film this in 48 FPS.
Me too.
I don't get that. I don't understand why he stressed so hard on CGI and not doing what he did with the Lord of the Rings. What else we
Cat,
got?
I will come right the fuck over there and you will be very upset with me. Quit fucking around. I'm listening, Jack. I just gotta
I
condemn this
I
kitty.
I think I like the casting for the most part. I mean,
I love the casting.
I forget about like half of the dwarves exist. They're just kind of there. But I don't think Peter Jackson like I think he just forgot how to pace movies after he made three of the greatest movies of all time.
Mhm.
So I don't.
I feel bad that he has to have his name stuck to it because I doubt Peter Jackson said to himself, "This is three movies worthy." There's the way that he knew the Lord of the Rings and the way that he surrounded himself with people who knew Lord of the Rings. I don't, there's no way he had any say in the matter when they looked at him and said, Pete, you got to make this one book into three, the shortest book into three movies. There's no way that was his choice. And Jack, everything that you said, if I remember everything you said just now, right, I think I completely agree with you. Um, One of the things in it I didn't love so much right away because I didn't quite get it because I was too young and too grouchy. Um, was all the singing in the first movie. Not that there's so much after the first half, but there's enough singing. And I felt like what, Noah?
I just chuckled. I haven't seen this movie in 14 years. I do
Well,
not remember anything about it.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
Not
2010, right? Or is it 2012? 12 years then.
2012 because Battle of Five Armies is 2014. Anyway, I just got to say the
mhm.
singing in it is delightful, and it gives the vibe that it needs to make the movie feel like you're in a kid's story. Because that's how I've always viewed The Hobbit. Because he wrote for those of you who don't know, I know a thing or two about Lord of the Rings. When he wrote The Hobbit, he wrote it for his children who were really young kids. It was a child's story. And then when he wrote The Lord of the Rings, he wrote them for his kids, but he wrote it for them 12 years later. So when they were grown-ups, they're just about grown-ups. So when they were a lot older. So Lord of the Rings becomes this much darker horror type of a world where he's telling the story of his life in World War I and all of that grief that he lives for his old life. The Hobbit is this very delightful story. So I've always thought if you were to make a movie, it needs to be very a sunny place, and there should, other than Mirkwood, there's not really a darkness to it. Even
Well,
the
my prop.
even the
Oh,
threat
sorry.
of it in the book, the threat is barely there. It's Azog's nephew Bolg or his son Bolg. He's his son Bolg. And he's like this faint thing that's talked about like once or twice. They get to the mountain, Bolg's there, and they're like, oh shit, it's Bolg. Like, that's it. That's the threat. The thought of that is not there's gonna be an evil orc chasing us. There's no pressure of time other than we gotta get to the door before it closes. The only threat is we're gonna get there and then we gotta deal with the dragon. And I think that goes missed. But continue.
I, as I was gonna say, I enjoy like the first 35 minutes of this movie
Mhm.
up until I think they leave the Shire. I think after they leave the Shire, then it's kind of like, you get what I mean? You get what I'm trying to put out here?
No,
Like
I get it.
up until Rivendell, it's pretty okay. I I haven't read the book in like 15 years, so like I don't remember everything, but I don't I don't understand why there had to be so many fucking flashbacks.
Yeah.
Also, I quick brief. I started watching the Desolation of Smog, okay?
Mhm.
But the extended edition. I'm about 20 I'm about 25 minutes into that. As far as I understand, Peter Jackson has added nothing worthwhile to this movie that makes it any better than the theatrical cut.
Mhm. I will
And
have to watch that. And
I'm dying here.
I would like to have an opinion on that. I like hearing you talk about it, but the Lord of the Rings stories are so important. I feel like I need to see
But
things and talk about them.
because does the original Desolation of Smog open up with Gandalf meeting Thorin at the Prancing Pony?
Uh,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
Okay, but is there like a 5 minute flashback scene about Thorin's father during that?
I don't know if it's 5 minutes worth, but they meet at the Inn of the Prancing Pony. And I think that's it. I think after that they cut into the movie. Is it
Because
different?
I haven't seen the Desolation of Smog in a long time, but it felt different because when they're meeting, they cut back to the battle in front of Moria, and it's his dad. What was it, Thrag? Who's Thorin's dad?
Brain.
Thrain. Where Thrain leads the charge against the White Dwarf fucker dude.
Hmm.
And I don't know why, but I don't remember that being in the movie.
Mhm.
But I
I
just felt
I
like
don't think that's in the movie. I really think Rain gives him the key, and that's the end of it.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
So like,
that is different. And as far as the flashbacks go, I think there's a good chunk of them that don't really add anything. I mean they add to it, but nothing that I care to see. Nothing that should be there. The things they're adding to, I feel, sometimes are the parts that shouldn't be in there. Anything to do with Azog, we don't need to know a thing about the Pale Orc. He was in the one fight and then he died. Um, and anytime we cut to the Moria battle, don't need it. We do not need that at all. I think what he's trying to do and what the producers want to do is they want to recreate the Battle of the Last Alliance at the end of the Second Age from the Lord of the Rings, and they do not need to do that. All right, tell your own new story. So yeah, I'm with you for a good chunk. Some little flashbacks I think are fun and okay, but not yeah. On principle, they're fine.
and of course, Gollum's a treat as always. You know,
Yes, he is. Yeah,
you gotta love that.
they do that. They do the riddles in the dark perfectly, I think.
But like, what is it? There's just there's just a lot that you're like, you, it's not a bad movie, but in
Mhm.
terms of like the Lord of the Rings, you watch it and it's just like, Noah, what's the little movement you always do? You always go meh. That right there,
Wow.
that's the actual, that's like the feeling of the movie.
Jack, way to
Yep.
call him on that.
Hmm.
Way to use your surroundings, Jack.
That's that's his little.
Mhm.
That's how you feel about it.
Yeah. That's how I feel about those movies, given that I haven't cared to watch them in a decade. So
Well,
So
cool.
those are my thoughts on The Hobbit.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad we got to talk about it. Um, yeah, I should really watch those because I could have a bigger discussion, but I worry maybe I shouldn't for the sake of the podcast because I feel like I've got too many specific nerdy things to spit out that not enough
yeah, I'd
people will
follow
care
that
about.
instinct. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mama, for the backup. Appreciate you, Doug.
Yep.
Uh, okay. Well, we got about 8 minutes left. I don't know if I want to hop into another movie. I felt like I had something non-movie related to to spit out.
Can I bring up something real quick? I want to
Yeah.
ask a question. It's movie related. I know we're a movie podcast, and we've refrained from talking about such things.
This is your time. This is your time to
But
shine.
I was talking to my family earlier today on the car ride back,
Mhm.
and it was brought up that my brother Cole has never seen Field of Dreams all the way through.
I've never
I
seen it.
know. What? Ugh. But then it was the topic of like feel good movies, and I I don't know if people know this, but have you guys seen the movie Secondhand Lions?
No, but I can picture like the cover of it.
No.
Oh my God, that is like a top tier feel good movie, like Peanut Butter Falcon feel good movie.
Sick reference. Sick pull.
Thank you, thank you. I don't know if I saw that with either of you.
No, our story to go to Peanut Butter Falcon, Noah and I had to drive 40 minutes to Hibbing to go watch it there. On mini movies, actually, we have a review of that movie, and it's just Noah and I sitting in the car talking
driving
about
around your block for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I played a character, the Tree Man Leaf.
Yeah, honestly, I like that video a lot.
I do too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the best work you ever did, Noah, was for the when we filmed it in the garage. I don't know what we were reviewing. I think
the Doctor Sleep one.
Doctor Sleep. There it is.
It's hard to say what my best work is. There's a lot to choose from, but yeah, that's up there.
I've always felt. I know that you're very fond of the Pedal Pirates, Nathaniel Will Blubber Bob.
Well, the people are. I'm not necessarily. That's just what I've been told.
Way to keep the truth going and yeah, making sure that's clear for everybody. I like that role a lot, but I don't think it gives you enough time to shine in it. I loved you as Pierre Lebedeau.
Yes.
However, I can't not see the things you did behind the scenes when I think about it. So watching that movie, I like can't get into who your character is, and I'm not seeing Noah Lane. I'm seeing Noah Lane fuck around. That's it. And we all fucked around a lot when we filmed those, but I never held that against anyone or looked at them differently. You, I think twice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Is that Cuckoo's Nest?
That Fear Lebedeau is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was really cold out. Yeah.
It was really cold out. Let me think. I want to try to think of what Jack says too. No, I think for me, my favorite, it's either gonna be Whale Blubber Bob or Luke from A Treat Too Sweet.
Sure.
And then
shout out to Chad. Come Sail Away.
Chad's good.
One of my favorite roles for sure.
Shit, I was rifling through all the movies just now trying to think, what's Jack's first role? What is it? It's Frank for Doctor of Science.
That's a good one. That's one of my favorite line readings in any
video. It's so good.
What else would it be?
Hey, audience, we had a film called Anfang Hitler in which we incept Adolf Hitler, and Jack has a line. Jack, feed them the line.
Oh no, I'm gonna let them experience that.
Okay.
I don't have the talents anymore. My voice is my voice was horribly damaged in the acid attack. So
it hurts to laugh.
It hurts.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Jack's role in Paddable Pirates is also good. I can't think of his name, but
wow, I don't know why. Bartholomew. Yeah, Last of Scalper's Rock.
I don't remember much about the Paddable Pirates. I don't know why.
I think I like that production because it was the most challenging production. And I know we all like to make the comment, I had the injury and we'd hobble around on one leg. Everybody's right. I was hobbling around on one leg for that production. But I think it was the most fun because we had to do a huge rewrite and still do all the work of putting things together. You could have lit me on fire during that production, and it was the best thing I did that whole summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. But to answer your question, Jack, my favorite feel-good movie is Requiem for a Dream.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
We're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. Yeah. I think as far as we're on break right now for the audio. For the video, though, I think this shit's going to keep going a little bit. I had a huge flub last week when it came to editing. So I'll edit out the very start and then try to come in, unless there's a really funny joke right
Just
before.
a heads up, I'm gonna go piss.
Okay. All right. No, right at the very start, I try to cut off, and right at the very end of these clips, I try to cut off from the point of "Hello, everybody" to "We can take a break" type of stuff. Last week, though, right at this first chunk of it, where we go into the ad, I forgot to take off the end of it, and so we go to an ad break, but we keep talking. And luckily, everything we said is fine, and we did they don't catch us lacking. Not that we really ever say anything that's not cool, especially not on camera. But the audio ends. I don't know how it ends with it. With "I'm glad Cole died." And then it goes into an ad. It's so good.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh shit. We're gonna have to. Whenever Jack gets back, we're gonna take a break right now. But I'm gonna have to question the shit out of him. He's got to start listening to these. These are too good not to listen to. All right. We'll return. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Good piss.
Good. Huh. All right, everybody. Welcome back from the break. Here we are, podcast, a motion picture. Two things to talk about, I suppose, and then we can hop back into discussing the movies. Oh wow, Let's just texted me saying he's going to go through Rochester on Saturday. Shit, I worked that day. Also he can bring the flash drive with all the footage of one knocked over the Western Meadowlarks Nest. Awesome. Woo!
I will full on weep if that is actually like put together and I get to watch it.
I know. Everybody listening, we made a movie about 7, 8 years ago now called One Knocked Over the Western Meadowlark's Nest. Check it out on YouTube. One Knocked Over the Western Meadowlark's Nest. There's so much. There's 250 gigabytes, I think he said, worth of behind the scenes extra footage. 250 gigabytes worth of footage. And we have been waiting to see it for all that time. And I think we're
correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't seen a snippet of it in
nothing.
7 years.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We have less footage of it now at our availability than the first time we watched it because we had to cut some of it out because we got copyrighted by Spanish Hotel California. Yeah, what a world. Okay, sorry. Two things after that tangent. Politics, I'm not going to talk about it. Ingen had pushed me to, I had bitched about Robert F. Kennedy, and he said, "What don't you like about that guy?" Not because he's some big Robert F. Kennedy supporter. He just said, "What don't you like about that guy?" And I said, "Well, I hear a lot of things." And he said, "Well, what have you read?" And I was taken aback because I really read things. I like to know things. I realized, shit, he's right. I have been caught lacking. So I started reading some shit. I don't really like that guy. I don't like him.
Yeah.
One of the things I should send a text to you guys is this bar graph of percentages. Three things. There's a red percentage, 21%, blue percentage of 24%, and then at 51% is this purple bar of an independent party. And there's no statistic included in it. There's nothing other than just trying to show that he's got the highest bar graph for a blank statistic. I have no idea what it's about. I don't know why he did it, other than this is just he had no positive statistic he could use, so he had to put those things on screen with zero information so he could have deniability and just say it means nothing. It's absurd, but I got to keep looking because I want to be safe. I want to know who's getting my vote this fall. Who knows? But that's enough of that. I just had to share that it was funny. I also learned a valuable lesson through it all in that when you're working 40 hours a week and beyond that, trying to put together a whole lot of other stuff, working 40 hours a week mixed with having kids, I can see why people fall out of the loop of politics and why they don't give a fuck. I can see how easily you look at Donald Trump and say, he's a cool guy because you don't have time to bear witness to anything. When people say, "Oh, he's trouble," you genuinely don't have time to say, Why is he trouble? You just say fuck off. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm done. I'm going to bed. My kid threw up on another kid, and now I'm in trouble. Like Anyway,
Yeah.
this shit. I've already forgot the other thing. I need to start writing notes down. I've developed full blown ADHD here in my young age. That's horrible. Oh God, it's horrible. Oh, this other thing is Jack.
Yeah.
You got to start listening to these podcasts. I've been listening to them myself. Noah listens to them. We are really good at what we do. We are great at it. You got to give them a listen, especially last week's episode, again, where it's just the three of us. We are on fire that episode. There's not a joke that doesn't land. There's not information we spit that isn't great. We are a grand bunch.
Okay.
So Jack, yeah, check out Podcast Emotion Picture. I'll send you a link to it.
Send me a link. I'll check her out.
Yeah, if you can find it, it's tough. We're gonna get into.
Is it on Spotify and all our other places you could find podcasts?
It is on Spotify. And you know what? To all of you else listening, if you have a friend, like me and Noah have a friend here, and Jack, our good friend, if you have a friend, listeners, recommend this shit. Let everybody know. Hark the angels heard on high. That level of harking. No, Noah, you're giving me the old E script.
Well, you combined two awesome separate Christmas songs.
I don't know if Christmas songs have ever been deemed awesome.
I'm sorry.
I'm not saying they're not.
The Herald Angels Sing is mid. Dude, that's fucking banger.
Banger after banger. Dude, when I was in third, fourth, fifth grade, playing piano, doing piano lessons, my piano teacher, June Larson, she would set me at the piano every week. She had me going through those bangs.
Yeah. And then Angels We Have Heard on High, also a banger. That's the glow. That one. You know that one.
Glow, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
In excelsis Deo.
All right. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for Christmas this year now.
Yeah, dude. Halloween first. Don't forget about that.
How could I? I am trying to put together some ideas for our Halloween 3 watch through. I think we'll set up a recording station, and I think we'll have to record us doing it this year for the content of it all.
It will have to be edited, though, because
we'll take the breaks. Yeah.
Who knows what I'll say? I'm pretty edgy, so yeah.
Yeah, it gets edgy. We stand up, walk around a whole bunch. Somebody recommended to me, why don't you just record it, but try not to. It's physically impossible when all of us are together watching Halloween 3, having a grand old time. 20 minutes in, we'll just stand up and walk away from it and come back to it. And nobody's lost the pace. We know where we're at. We do not lose track of that movie until we're pissed drunk. But no, I've got an idea for it. I think we can record it. I think we could even. I want to be able to set it up in a way that people at home could click a button and watch it. My only concern is how to get us to watch it in a way that doesn't have us picking up the audio from that movie. Unless if maybe that's something that won't matter because anything that is picked up will just be something that helps. I just don't want it to be. We'll have to run some tests. Yeah. I'll get on it. I'll figure that out. Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, you can just film a little featurette like after it's over, like a review or something.
I really want to get this thing right.
Yeah.
I really want it. To be able to look back and have us doing this thing. I just love it so much.
I miss my E&J apple brandy. Sometimes I have a craving for it, but I think, no, it's not Halloween 3 night.
Since I don't really drink anymore, I don't have any urge to do it. I don't have any interest. I don't care for it anymore.
Oh yeah, it leaves you after about 3. It leaves you about after 3 months. You just don't. Then you start figuring out that you like kombucha, and then you're like,
oh, I will not find that out. Oh, I hate kombucha.
I love kombucha. Ooh,
yeah,
that's just good.
When I was first getting off it was really just because I was pretty broke. So I was like, I'm not gonna spend any money getting drunk if I can't get any money to go get some cool CDs or records from the CD record store. But then and now I got money again. It's like I would rather drink 10 Diet Pepsis for $10 than have 3 beers for $10, you know? That's just
Yeah.
me. Also
Or not.
No, I just like the aura I bring when everyone in front of me orders beer from a brewery, and I'm like, "You got root beer?
You
Like,
got a
that's
root beer,
you
buddy.
got any root beer?"
Good. That's a 10-4, good buddy. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this, the brewery in town has a refillable root beer for $5, and that's draft. So,
Are the refills free?
yo, yeah,
Holy shit, guys. I know our next hangout place. We're bringing pizzas and getting unlimited draft root beer. Holy fuck.
What? Where?
at Rapids Brewery.
Guys, I
Oh,
think
I was there once.
I think
I
let's all move back to Rapids and live in this brewery.
Please
Yeah.
don't. You don't want to.
The
I
hot
will
I love
actually.
Rapids.
I'll be there again within the month. That's where we do our fantasy football draft. So
Nice.
What do you mean
Yeah.
we?
me and my father and his friends, couple
He's
of my
cheating on
friends.
us.
Yeah, he does that. He's a cheater. He's a cheater, pumpkin eater. You know, while he was cheating and eating pumpkins, he watches The Exorcist without me like a whore. He's nodding right now. 3 men
I
are
did
dead and you're
that.
laughing.
I did do that.
Speaking of,
Sorry, Jack. I'm gonna ramble to something else. You say your thing.
I was gonna do like arguably the greatest cutaway of all time and saying, speaking of a movie I watched with no one around, I was gonna talk about Bone Tomahawk,
Nice.
but we could get out your thought first before we back into movies.
Okay, yeah, good point. Are you guys down for the Renaissance Festival that one weekend I had texted?
So if anyone who's listening, we're currently discussing plans that we have made privately in text
I don't give a
live
fuck.
on the air.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm giving you in.
Oh
I'm just letting you
no,
in.
our
This
fans
is
are gonna crowd us at the
this is
Renaissance
this
Festival. They'll
is
know when
no
we're
this is
there.
what I mean is that this is all the time we like talk to each other anymore. No.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
pretty
kidding.
much. We send like 3 stupid texts and then you guys are ready to podcast Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
6:30, 7 o'clock sound good? And that's it. And then we're here talking. Yeah.
To answer your question, Reed, yes, I am ready and able.
Awesome. Yeah, I got my fit already. Noah?
I can't go on account of the football draft I just mentioned.
Fuck. What about fuck you, you piece of dog shit.
I know.
So now
I-
you on the
I
24th?
had already I had my dad pick that weekend because of the Green Day weekend is before it, I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I was like, I can't do that weekend. So he's like, can we do the 24th weekend? And I had said yes to that. So
This is a question from someone who's not experienced in Run Fair. Can I just wear normal clothes?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, if you're
'Cause
fucking
I don't have the finances or the time to make a costume.
That's
So
cool. Yeah. I've got a really nothing thing. My whole thing probably cost me maybe $100. And I mean that took me a while. Yeah, I know. That is $100 is not nothing, I know, but as far as what I've got, it includes a sword and the sheath that did not come with the sword. I would
I
say
can make you a costume, Jack. I have a lot of time and money.
that was Mr. Free Time and Money, as they've always called him.
wow, must be nice.
I think, yeah, you'll be just fine. Last year I went in just my ordinary clothes, but after seeing it last year, maybe you'll have the same feeling, maybe you won't. It is such a cool, fun place that all the workers are set in stone doing their thing. People are walking around doing their thing. There's people who come dressed up that don't work there that just like to put on a gimmick. There's a guy not employed through them. He's not involved in any circle with them in any way, who calls himself the king, and he just shows up and starts acting like the king, and he's got buddies that walk with him. It's the most it's he's a funny fella, a whole bunch of funny people. We can watch jousting, you can drink mead. I've got my, not that we drink, but I've got a horn that you could fill up with beer. I did last year. You can buy some javelins for a javelin throwing thing.
Yeah, I would want to go. I know I'd like it.
I might end up going a second time so I can involve you guys in that as well. Sam and Emily wouldn't be able to go This.
Is it more than one weekend?
Yeah, it goes for, I think, every weekend from August 1st to the end of September.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a lot, and I really would like to go twice because they do event weekends. And if I am available for a day, I'll just drive over there because I'd like to try an event one. Do you
Cool.
like dog races at one of them?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not dressing up. I was only talking shit because I thought I wasn't gonna be.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
Would you? I
just-
think Jack might have said you were interested. Would you guys want to do that Friday night Twins game right before?
Who are they playing? I mean, it's a Twins game. I'll fucking go.
I think
It's just
I think
we need to.
St. Louis. I think.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd
I'm
be
game.
tough. That would work till 5.
You'd
but
work till 5, 7, 10 is the start time. So yeah, you'd have to drive right down there and
yeah.
walk in.
Let's do I mean, baseball's still played in September. Maybe you can just do a clone of the weekend in September as well or something.
Cool. Yeah, I don't see
Cool
why
money
not.
bags over here.
Yeah.
Jack, ask your mom for money so you can come hang out with us.
Yeah.
I might have to. I might. That might actually be. They might be like 15, like height, like middle school all over again. My
I get
mom
it.
has some money to go hang out with my friends.
You still want those Green Day tickets though? My sister texted me about that today as well.
Are you still down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down. I think I already have some time when I was doing my interviews. I think we set aside time. This is a fun podcast topic that we're just talking about what our plans are. Hey, you listeners, go fuck yourselves. You're not invited to these events. I hope you choke on it. All right. Well, let's talk about movies, shall we? Yeah.
Well, I digress.
Yeah, digress away.
Bone Tammyhake.
Bone Tomahawk. So I want to start out by saying that I was drawn to this movie because because I saw Cole, my brother, had watched it and given it 4.5 stars. The other reason is because it started making its rounds as like the YouTube or Instagram movie shorts of the week. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
When the movie gets picked.
I generally like those.
And I was like, you know what? Cole likes this. I've heard of it before. I'm going to give it a watch. A cowboy western horror movie sounds pretty cool. I fucking hated it. And I hated it for the very reasons that this movie has a claim to fame, and rightfully so, because there is one scene in it that is genuinely like amazing. Like not amazing in that, though that's really cool what they did. Amazing in that the special effects of the gore is so disturbing and that you're like, holy shit, did that just happen? Sort of deal. I won't spoil it, what actually happens, but the violence in the movie is very well done. It's like the special effects are very good. However, and this is where it comes in. The movie centers around these. So there's this town that all the men have left because of their cowboys and they're going with the herd, I think. So then it's just like all the women and children, and then like a couple straggling men, like the sheriff who's what's his fucking face? Kurt Russell. But the movie centers around these people. Literally 3 people get taken by these cannibalistic Native Americans. And that's like what drives the plot. Is that and one of the guys who's played by Patrick Wilson has a broken leg and his wife gets taken. So it's one of those things where you're like, okay, this is what they're going. I want to say this in the nicest way possible without sounding too political. But this is a movie for like Jordan Peterson fans.
Mm.
If you get what I mean by
I'm
that.
intrigued. Not because I'm a Jordan Peterson fan, but because I'm intrigued as to what this movie is now.
I don't think I'm going to watch this.
Because so like it's clear because you know what like exploitation films are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like violent, overtly violence for no other reason than to be violent.
You could say all war movies are exploitation films.
You could, but what I mean is I get that's what he was trying to go for, but the problem is that it in a way that your only depiction of Native Americans are one by a very, very westernized Native American who walks in and says these Native Americans are worse than my Native Americans. And then you proceed to have the only main characters be white men who are Christian, taking a woman back from these cannibals. If you get where I'm heading in this direction here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to watch it. I have a, I know you guys know I like Native American shit because we got a little background with it, but I really love the topic of Native American portrayal in film. I had that one class in college that was Native Americans and movies. That was probably the best class I've ever taken in my life. I've taken a lot of good film-based classes. That was probably it. We just kept going over so many variations where it's like any way you think you can show these guys off is gonna be wrong because any way that you try to play to these things is already based on bullshit. Like unless you were living back then, anything you read now is based on colonialist bullshit. So I am down to clown
Well,
with this film in a very appreciative and partisan way, I guess you could call it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to be cool.
well, what I mean is, it's like it's total. It's going for those like cannibalistic movie vibes of like the '80s and like early exploitation cinema. And
Mhm.
the problem is that one that worked in the '70s and '80s because it was genuinely exploitation cinema, where a lot of those films were actually kind of snuff films. Like people actually shit actually died in those movies.
Mhm.
But where I'm trying to go here is that at the very beginning of the movie, they introduce they call them savages throughout the entire movie. But what I mean is they walk in a token Native American character to call them troglodytes and then say they look like natives, but they're not natives. I'm not kidding. He shows up in the movie to basically say, I'm native, these guys aren't native, and then he leaves. That is his only role. He has like 3 speaking lines.
Bro, you don't have your camera and you're not looking at your screen right now. That whole time I've been dying fucking laughing to myself. Troglodytes is whack, bro. Holy shit. That is heavy. Dude,
And
that's
like
awesome. I'm watching the fuck out of this.
and like the problem is so it's like one of those movies where you're like, okay, so like one it it's so frustrating because the violence is so well done and the action, like the gunshots, it's you know what I mean by that when you like it's very visceral, it's like thumpy. When someone gets shot, you're like, wow, that's a really good effect. And then you have to watch the rest of the movie. And I think who's the who's the old guy from Step Brothers, the dad?
Richard
Richard Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins. He plays an old bearded white man in this.
Ow.
And he plays like the what's the word I'm looking for? He plays like the backup deputy because the other deputy gets taken by the cannibals. But at one point they set up camp and you've got your embarrassingly stoic white guy who talks about how many Indians he's killed. Literally a point in the movie. Actually a point they try to make in the movie. Who sets up like this thing around camp and these 2 guys walk up like clearly Mexicans and who he guns down of course because they're scouts for the raiding party or whatever. And I shit you not, fucking what was his name? That guy, that actor's
Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins literally has a line where he says, "I think he just taught those Mexicans the meaning of manifest destiny," and I have never
No!
laughed harder at a fucking movie line in anything I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am watching this.
It's on Netflix. That's why I watched
Wow.
it. But
holy shit. Imagine you kill somebody, you go manifest destiny. Oh my God. What the fuck?
and so like it's just also it's super super boring at parts.
Hmm.
Like like the whole point of like advent like you got a Western movie, and Western movies look good because people know how to place a camera in the West, and they make the West look really pretty.
Hmm.
This movie is shot digitally, and it is flat. It is so fucking flat. And it's clearly a very cheaply made movie where he spent all the money on actors and effects and did not care about writing or anything else. Because yeah, it's just and it I mean, I'm frustrated with it because it has a really high rating on Letterboxd. And by high rating, I mean it's like a 3.7. Like not super high, but high enough where
Higher
people
than what you would
yeah,
think. Yeah. I'm really
but it's
curious about why Cole likes it now. I'm very
I
curious.
want to know
I
why.
almost want to watch it just to be able to talk about it a little, but it does not sound like something I would like.
Yeah.
Because and Kurt Russell had what year did Hateful Eight come out?
2015.
Because he literally has the exact same beard from Hateful Eight. Like he must have filmed this either right before or immediately after.
Awesome. Oh, he's great in that.
But
God, he's great.
the movie ends. You go through the characters doing their shit. I think David Arquette's in this, but they do their shit.
Oh,
He is, and they do their shit, and then the movie the movie ends. There's the fucking it's it's one of those movies where you have to sit back, and usually like I'm in agreement with a lot of movies, but I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I
Agree.
don't just like grift. What's like I don't hate on something just to hate on something. Like,
Yeah.
people who say like I hate The Godfather just to sound
Different.
different.
Yeah. Check this out.
I don't,
Hate and
Fists on
Godfather.
it
That's the
still.
first time I've heard those two words in the same sentence.
but like
No, it's not.
I don't
The Family Guy
understand.
bit.
Yes, family
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. Go on.
I don't understand how people like watch this movie and went, this is a fun like pulpy romp to the Western like horror. Like it has it's just I don't know. Maybe it's because like I have an understanding of like neocolonialism and other stuff. I don't know. I don't see where the where the whole like message and meaning like
I'll
in
take
no not once in this movie do two women talk to each other.
very, yeah, very
And and,
The Bechdel
and
test.
the Mac, but also aside, the only heroes are white men besides the one guy who comes in to say that the people you're about to butcher aren't Native Americans, even though
Yeah.
they're played by Native American actors. And they
Is
look,
that the Bechdel test or is that the robot one?
What are you
if the
talking about?
Turing test is the robot one.
Okay, thank
What
you.
is the
I got
what
it
is
right.
the Bechdel test?
It's like it's about like if women are properly represented in your movies, and like one of the criteria is two women have to talk to each other about something other than a man. But it sounds like in this case, two women didn't even talk to each other.
That's cool. That's a
Yeah.
cool bit of information to know. Jack, bring us home.
So all I'm saying is that when it comes to Bone Tomahawk, I'm right and everyone else is wrong.
That's hell yeah.
Yeah, amen to
And
that, my guy. You
I
know
just
how to.
want to know. I want to know because when you watch something because you're like, okay, people like this, and then you start scratching your head about because you actually like you start thinking about the movie while you're watching it, and you're like, wait, like what the fuck am I watching? Like what is going on here? Why do people like this so much? Why did my brother give it 4.5 stars? Like I need him to ask, like justify.
I think
Like
he's got
why
to tear his ass away from that New York Mets game and get on this podcast and talk about his love for Bone
We're
Tomahawk.
gonna bring
That's
him
what I
down to
think.
earth, Noah.
But in very brief summary, this is a Western for Jordan Peterson fans.
I'm
That
gonna
is the
have to
best
check
way I
it
can
out.
put it.
I think even more than the Hobbit extended, I need to have an opinion on Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Because I love Wyatt. Wow, I just dropped Wyatt Russell instead of Kurt Russell. That's weird. That's
Oh, yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Never. I didn't even think I remembered his kid's name. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's in the zeitgeist right now. What can I say?
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. We'll have to watch that. Let's talk. Noah, you and I. We can discuss Twisters. Jack,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna spoil anything so much. I don't know if there's anything that. I don't even think you can spoil this movie.
Not really. You know where it's going.
Yeah, they go and there's tornadoes.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? Out of 5 stars, what would you give it? I want to put a feeler out there.
That's a tough question off the rip. I think I rated it 3.5 on my letterbox.
I haven't rated it yet. I think I'm gonna go with 3.
Yeah. It's I had a blast. I loved it. Like, if you're rating disaster movies, it's probably to me like a 4-star disaster movie, you know. I went at a 9:30 showtime with both my parents, which is, I don't know if that's ever happened before, so kind of like a unique movie going experience for me. Pretty, not a full theater, but like populated for a 9:30 showtime.
Ours was about 5. Ours was 650, and it was a full theater.
Yeah, so like just a good summer movie. Like, it reminded me of Top Gun Maverick in the way that it felt like an actual sequel to Twister to me, rather than just like a complete. And obviously, this movie is not Top Gun Maverick, but like it felt like it was part of what it was going for, rather than like ripping off what it was trying to be. You know,
Yeah.
like it felt earnest. Like everyone wanted to be there. Like
Yeah.
it had the right attitude.
Had no pretenders to it.
Yeah.
I think as far as the story goes, I'm not. It's not a bad story. It's to me, it's kind of lame. It's not like some brand new thing or anything. It's just fine, but at age 24, I don't want to be watching a movie and feeling like, sure, I've been there, done that. Like maybe when I'm 70, I can think that way. But like, if you're telling the same stories so heavily, and I think the reason why it's so is because it's really basic in its storytelling elements. My good buddy here, who will remain named, his name's Sagan. He described it as a Hallmark movie, and I'm not gonna go. No. It is. Dude, we don't have the time. We do not have the time. I gotta have him write it all down. It is alarming how this is. I'm not even gonna spend it. But one of my favorite. No, we're not gonna get into it so much. Okay. Anyway,
I
I'm giving it.
understand the plot points it hits and that it's not reinventing the wheel. I don't think that matters so much, though.
It hits a Hallmark movie level of love story of, oh my God, this John Lawrence guy that I used to hang out with, he's going to help me fight tornadoes. But lo and behold, he works for the tornado factory and
But
he
he's more
builds
complex than that.
tornadoes.
But he's more complex than that.
And
he's
then
not
who's
just a bad
this
guy.
Naturalist guy, cute douchebag over there, fights tornadoes?
Loved him.
Yeah. Maddie and Josie, they were crushing on Glenn Powell, and they liked the douchebag vibe a bit. And I had to ask the question of, you guys are always into the douchebags, and Maddie's always into the douchebags in movies. What does it say about me? All right, who am I?
Well, because Glenn's not
douchebag.
No, because he's not actually a douchebag. It's like the thing. He's a smart douchebag.
Yeah, he got stomped on by too many bulls, so he went to college, as he said.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had I'd been stomped on a bull.
To me, that like 15 minutes of the rodeo plus like the pool scene, that was my favorite part of the movie. I thought that shit was rad.
Cool. I'm glad you liked that. I really like the shots they can do of the storm, and I think I think the clouds that they put together and the way that the wind can move the clouds, incredible how well it looks. And I've never seen Twister, so I got to watch the original.
Never really?
No, I haven't.
That-
How did you do
yeah.
watching John Lawrence in this movie?
Oh, Ramos, right?
Is that his name?
From Hamilton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I did like him a lot. And I think I did okay, but something about him kept catching in my mind, and I think it's because he's John Lawrence in Hamilton, which I don't ever have a problem seeing people in two roles, and it's very rare, except like Robert Downey Jr. Now I can only see Robert Downey Jr. because he has been in my life for about 15 years straight. But with this guy, it was doing that. I think out of everybody, he'd probably be the least out of that whole cast that I would do that with. Maybe the guy that does James Madison and Hannibal. Or Hercules Mulligan, sorry. Anyway.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I might sit down and do Hamilton again at some point here. Okay, well, I don't know. I felt all fired up at the start to talk about Twisters, but now I don't really care to talk about Twisters any more than we just have. It's really, yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fun summer picture.
I think it was good to see it in theaters, and I think it's a movie that it's not going to be hurt if you watch it at home either. It's something that you could find on television and slip right in.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I love your guys' thoughts on Twister. I'm reading the Letterboxd reviews of Bone Tomahawk, and it just reminded me of something in the scene that I wanted to brought up. There's a sex scene between Patrick Wilson
and Kurt
his
Russell.
wife.
Oh, Kurt Russell.
And it's very early on.
Who's his wife?
And I can't remember
Kurt
the
Russell?
actress's name. But I want to bring this up because the whole, one of the main parts of Patrick Wilson's character is that he has a broken, is it the tibia or the fibia below the knee? Is that the tibia?
Both.
Is it both?
Tibia's below.
Yeah.
Tibia.
I think it's
your arm. Your femur.
I'm thinking of femur.
It's like the shin. Your shin.
Tibia, fibia are in the shins because your ulna and radius are up here. Humor bone.
It's whatever's the front. He has a shattered tibia. It's fucked. And I shit you not, he has missionary sex in it. And I sat there going the whole time of, how the fuck is he doing that with a shattered tibia?
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not doing it.
I want to bring that point up. I forgot to bring that up. That is it. It was. There's a lot. You need to watch this movie. There's a lot that happens.
If you have a broken leg bone and you are too much of a, if you're so cowardly, you can't just ask your sex partner to say, "Hey, would you mind being on top because I have a broken bone? Something's wrong with you, and you're compensating for something." Pat Wilson.
I've always felt that way about Pat Wilson.
Really?
Yeah, he's compensating for something.
I like Patrick Wilson. Maybe it's his compensation I like.
Sorry, that's all I wanted to say. I forgot to bring it up.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's good. All right. Well, I mean, we got a minute and 51 seconds left on our clock here, so I think we better wrap it up and say good night to everybody. Everybody, good night and thanks for listening. Tell people about this podcast. Tell your boss about it. Tell any residents that you work around. Tell anybody who comes to the front of the line in whatever store you're sitting in. You turn to them if you're waiting for some food and you go, "Hey, you heard about Podcast and Motion Picture? It's this new big hot thing. Check them out on YouTube too. They got the video going." Just tell people about it. We're working on more ways to get the word out there. So hopefully we're not all going to be so alone together. But maybe being alone's good because, other people are scary unless they've heard about Podcasts and Motion Pictures. So you should tell them about it, and then they'll never be strangers. All right, that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.